SVG's Jason Dackman here. Welcome to another edition of the SVG New Sponsor Spotlight. We're very excited to have Mercury Intermedia as a new member of our community. I'm here with Mike Ligon and Tom Richardson of Mercury. Guys, first and foremost, thanks so much for taking the time and welcome to SVG.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jason. A real pleasure to be with you.
Great. So for those that maybe aren't familiar with you, Mercury Intermedia has been around for nearly 3 decades. You guys are by no means a new entry to the space, but it is possible that some of the SVG folks aren't familiar with you. So Mike, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do, where you guys have been, and what's the history of the company look like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really weird to hear 3 decades, but that's pretty much true. We're going to be entering our 30th year next year. So we've been in the digital space for a long time. A lot of that has been focused kind of in the media space, entertainment space. Since about 2008, we've been primarily focused on mobile and mobile adjacent technologies. Of course, that started with iPhone apps, but has since ballooned into the larger ecosystem of TVs and wearables and full stack solutions supporting sports streaming. So we've done a lot of really big media company applications and systems for companies such as Xfinity, Comcast systems. That's really where we got our start in some of the streaming applications, and Red Bull Media House is another one where we started working with them to work with some of their TV applications, as well as iOS and Android. So really where we are best at is kind of that intersection of new media, sports technology, into the streaming space and delivering that in consumer applications that have really good user experience, user interfaces, but are also technical and robust enough to kind of handle large volume loads and a good experience for the brand itself.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Well, Tom, in terms of the current landscape, and let's say I am a sports media entity that's looking to, boost my streaming offering, get into a state-of-the-art platform, what do you guys offer? Why would I come to Mercury Intermedia?
Well, thanks for asking. We have a rich history in the sports world, and we're doing quite a lot in the sports business right now, Jason. We go way back to the mid-aughts when we were working with some NFL teams on what we used to call screensaver technologies back then. And the way we were doing that work actually kind of presaged what we were going to see with iPhone applications, small format mobile apps with a lot of functionality built in. So we were ready for that. And as Mike said, we pivoted into that area quite aggressively back when it started, and then got involved in sports in various capacities, ranging from professional sports leagues to RSNs to betting businesses, gaming companies, etc. So we have a fair amount of experience at this point. I think the most notable thing is as we went through the tens, obviously the number of platforms proliferated, the number of devices you needed to write software for became way beyond anybody's imagination. And we were good in that we just rolled with all the changes quite comfortably, learned the new technologies, paid close attention to what Apple and Google were doing with the operating systems and adding in Roku and things like that. And as a result, we have a vast amount of experience across all platforms, doing everything from mobile applications to streaming apps, middleware integrations, new feature integrations, et cetera, as the technology is advanced.
Sure. And again, that's a full stack offering. I know that it can get, we'll say annoying is the polite word, but to serve all of these mobile devices, all of these connected devices, and it's not like it's gonna, decrease anytime soon. It's no small issue. So I am curious, moving ahead, what do you guys see coming in the future? Again, we are certainly seeing the digital boom and the streaming boom continue to boom, and it's not going to end anytime soon. Mike, how do you see Mercury playing into the way the industry evolves over the next, say, 12 to 18 months?
Well, what's really interesting about the industry itself is it keeps evolving. So it keeps us on our toes as far as all the different media rights and deals, but also as far as the technology, we see a lot of areas to be gained in things like AI. A lot of companies are probably saying that, but especially when you get into some of the full stack solutions that we've got, and you get into some of the things that sports franchises and RSNs and people are trying to think through, we do think there's efficiencies in the way that machine learning, AI, and other advanced technologies can adjust themselves into the digital ecosystems to make things more efficient, more scalable, and more adaptive to future technologies because everything is racing as fast as all the platforms are. Our friends at Apple and Google and Roku are always making advances. And so we feel like with our expertise in both the software stack building and a lot of the user experience, also being able to integrate in with some smarter ways to use those technologies is going to be a really exciting space for us to explore in the coming years.
Sure. And
Yeah.
Tom, I think go ahead and expound on that. But it's been very interesting to see the market evolve. The RSNs being a perfect example, as teams are saying, maybe I'm going to take my rights back in house. The collapse of traditional, the cable model and traditional revenue models. Everyone is looking to get into this space, take back their own destiny, and yet they need somebody to help them launch, these platforms, right?
Yes, absolutely. And there's pressure on these companies to find creative ways of addressing the younger audiences. This is perhaps one of the top themes in the entire sports business, which is the challenge of reaching and engaging Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And one way that's happening, Jason, as you know from all the activity at SVG, is the increase in the use of immersive technologies, the advent of spatial computing through Apple Vision Pro, where a couple of the sports leagues, for example, have been involved with doing early apps there. The proliferation of more AR opportunities that we've been involved with in certain cases, and that keeps evolving. In fact, at this point, quite rapidly because of AI, both on the Apple platforms and, of course, Google Android. So we're there with all this, and we do a lot of new business meetings. And I'd say the number one concern is how to build for the future, how to design and build for the future, taking advantage of this evolving technology, making sure you build a product that, if it's launched in 2025, can still compete in 2026 and 27 with everybody else that are doing similar things because it's all moving so quickly. So as Mike said, we're keeping up with all the changes, and we're really fortunate to have experience with all the most important technologies, which give us a level of comfort, I think reliability with our customers or would-be customers because of the amount of experience we have, both past, present, and looking towards the future.
Sure. And there'll be a lot to take place in the future. And we're excited to have you aboard at SVG. Gentlemen, Tom, Mike, thank you guys so much for taking the time. Hope to see you at an SVG event soon.
We look
Thanks,
forward to
Jason.
seeing you there, Jason. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
For more news on Mercury Intermedia, make sure to check out mercury.io. It's mercury.io, and you'll see plenty of news on these guys on sportsvideo.org, SVG Play, and the SVG YouTube channel.